Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. My first question mostly is, Mahindra is a $17 billion global conglomerate. Just how important is Africa and indeed Kenya to your overall strategy?
So Mahindra is a very large corporation in India, $17 billion, amongst the top 5 or 6 private companies or groups in India. Yes. We're into many different businesses. Automotive is the largest one, but one of the 10 businesses that we are in. Africa as a continent is something that is extremely critical for our long-term strategy of globalization. Something that we're putting in a lot of focus on. Many markets that we are looking at as key future markets for us. In many cases, these markets are very small today, but will become major markets as Africa grows, the way it's been growing and the way it's projected to grow in the future. Kenya especially becomes important because it is sort of a beachhead for us for East Africa, a country that is economically relatively very well to do in the region, very well connected to rest of Africa and to the world, and clearly has a population here that is friendly to India. And therefore we think that Kenya is a good place for us to set up our operations for East Africa, and that's what we have done. We have set up an office in Kenya. We are starting off in a big way with the automotive business, but we will be looking at many other businesses of the group for Africa, for Kenya. Agriculture is the most important one after automotive, which we'll look at. We also look at trucks, we also look at construction equipment and power generation. And so overall, we'll have several business partners for different business verticals in Kenya.
Mahindra was present in this Kenyan market in the past, about 20 years or so ago. There has been a perception of quality built over that time. What is the company doing proactively to educate consumers that the company is indeed now world-class and offers real quality?
I cannot run away from the problem of perception that was created by a mistake that we made 20 years ago. I would like to say that the company has changed completely from that time. The approach has changed completely. One of the most important things when we enter a new market is to choose the right business partner. And that's what we have learned from our past mistakes and chosen Simba Group as our business partner, which I think is very important because the business partner has to have the same long-term objective in setting up the business in the market here. Focus on customer, focus on quality, focus on product, focus on brand building, and it's Simba that is happening. Similarly, when we go back to what we have done in India, and even if you were to look at our history in the last 20 years in India, Mahindra today is not what Mahindra was 20 years ago. None of the products that we made 20 years ago are made today. These are all products that we have designed, developed in the last 7-8 years. In fact, the first product that we launched, which was designed by Mahindra ground up, was in 2002. And therefore, if you were to compare the quality of our products in India, because India is also a very competitive market and all the global players are present in India, we cannot survive in India without having the right quality. And therefore, today we sell about 500,000 vehicles globally, and compare in quality to all the best in the world. Without that, no customer would buy. So yes, old perceptions are difficult to change, but all I can appeal and say to you today is that Mahindra is a very different company. Lot more focus on quality as much as anybody else, focus on customer as much as anybody else, maybe even more, and a very good partner in Kenya, which has the same philosophy and the same long-term alignment as Mahindra does.
You have talked about frugal engineering, a concept that has enabled you come into the market at prices that are way below half of what your competitors are offering. Please tell us something about that.
Well, it's all about how we look at the product, how we spec the product, what do we put in the product to suit and meet the requirements of our customers. The benefit that we have in Kenya is that these products have been designed for Indian market, and there's a lot of similarity between Indian market and Kenyan market. And therefore the kind of technology that comes in here, the kind of product that we design, whether it is design, whether it is the space inside the product, is suited for Kenyan market, I think, better than what many other products might be, which is designed more for a global market. Our products are designed for emerging, developing markets more. And therefore it allows us to focus on the right things in the product and not put in cost, which the customer will not benefit from. Also, the overall engineering cost in India is much lower than what will be there for many of the Western players. which helps us in keeping a development cost low. The labor cost also is lower than, again, in many Western countries, which also helps us to keep the price low. But it is all in engineering. It is all our approach to how we spec the product and the kind of design development that we do.
My final question is on the fact that just this Monday, Mahindra closed the buyout deal for Pininfarina, which is famous for, among other things, the design of Ferrari cars. How does this acquisition fit into your global strategy?
Well, Pininfarina acquisition is a very strategic acquisition for us in two regards. One is the engineering services that Pininfarina does, which is done by a Mahindra Group company, Tech Mahindra, and that's a separate business between Tech Mahindra and Pininfarina to grow the engineering services business. The second, from Mahindra automotive business point of view, Pininfarina brings us a tremendous brand, because Pininfarina designs are world famous, ability to bring in much more, should I say, sporty, aggressive styling to the products, which we will diverse from. And therefore, we will work with Pininfarina as time goes on. And in fact, some of the current products already have had Pininfarina input, not the one that we have launched here today, but some of the products that we have launched in India in the last year, 2 years, have had inputs from Pininfarina. So I think Pininfarina will really help us to improve our product offering, both in terms of design and engineering, and also to bring in the brand that Pininfarina has. In fact, we are also looking at possibility of launching a Pininfarina product with the Pininfarina brand name in the future that we'll look at. These things are all work in progress because the acquisition has just been completed this week only. So we'll be looking to see how we leverage the whole Pininfarina brand and the expertise.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today, sir. Well, that is Dr. Pawan Goenka, who is the Global Executive Director for Mahindra, speaking to KTN's business editor, Peter Wakaba, on the outlook for the company and why Kenya and how will the brand do in the market. It's a question of time. Well, speaking about time, it's time we take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be giving you more updates on what's happening across the business world. Don't go too far.